No. James had heard that word before, more than once. He could have accepted that as a final answer, but James also had strategic encouragers that joined him, and that encouragement not only redirected his steps and convinced him to refuse to be trapped by an increasing number of people who kept telling him that his dreams were at best misguided. Had he believed that, he might have also come to the conclusion that he was worthless. But James was nothing if not persistent. His father died when he was 9. The primary reason he made it through boarding school was because the headmaster of this British school, who was unrelated, paid his tuition. James would say that participating in track and field taught him persistence. An ongoing series of failures and missteps in his career choices left James with just enough knowledge about a lot of things that he was a jack of all trades and no one took him seriously. He took classes in design, then furniture design. He spent time farming. He spent time inventing, and many of those inventions were also rejected. James seemed to have the idea that the use of a ball would be the element that would cause him to be remembered. He had a wheelbarrow that rolled on a ball, a boat trolley that operated with balls, and something close to a speedboat that also, you guessed it, used a ball. Some inventions were talked about, but rarely in an affirming way. James would marry, and his wife would work to support his dream of inventing a product that would really mean something. This continued through more than 5,000 failed prototypes of a product that James was just sure everyone needed in their home. When he finally launched his product in 1983, there was no one in his native Britain who was remotely interested in selling, marketing, or supporting it. In desperation, James would find a mail-order company in Japan that agreed to sell it. They did sell it. It was pink, and charged around $5,000 when adjusted for inflation. And even though this product was a prestigious design award winner in Japan, there was still no manufacturers willing to make the product available to the public. When talking about his rejections of this product, James once said, "There were 5,126 failures, but I learned from each one. That's how I came up with a solution. So I don't mind failure. I've always thought that school children should be marked by the number of failures they've had. You see, the child who tries strange things and experiences lots of failures to get there is probably more creative." Well, that persistently positive outlook would serve James well. He chose to market this product on his own, build them on his own, and market them to the world that wasn't sure they needed the product of a man who came from little, created unusual products, and had no one who had the finances and the willingness to use them to support him in his big dream. Then James began to receive more awards for his innovations, and by 2007 he was knighted for his innovations. And today his holdings are worth more than $13 billion. He has over 3,000 employees. If James had found someone to partner with him, there might not be a charitable arm of his business that has supplied nearly $100 million to fund individuals and institutions pursuing innovations in engineering. If there had been investors, James would not have been able to spend £7 million a week on research and development of new products. If there hadn't been Rejection, you might never have known about bagless vacuum cleaners and various other innovations from his business empire. Who is this James that lived with long rejection and yet stood determined for decades? Who is this James that felt there was a better vacuum than the ones he tried in the late 60s and 70s? Who is this James that had to go it alone to see his product available to the masses? Well, this James would say, and he did, if you want to discover something that other people haven't, you need to do things the wrong way. Initiate a failure by doing something that's unthinkable, perhaps like a wheelbarrow that rolled on a ball. It is possible you have one of this man's products in your home. A vacuum, a hairdryer, a washer, air treatment products, lights. The list is long. Dyson Electronics is the unthinkable result of the persistence of a struggler named James Dyson. History, my friends, always has a backstory.